What's up, everybody? We got a new setting, we got a new format, we got a new topic to talk about. So, today I want to share um, the value of these decisions that we make that usually are the most vulnerable or the. Okay, I just pulled up. It's a vulnerable decision. Well, it's a sensitive decision in the most critical point of your life, right? It's a point where, hey, I finally got things figured out in a way, right? And because we think like this, and because we have the security, because we have the confidence, right? We think, oh, I'm gonna go get that free rent, or not that. Well, maybe it's a free rent, right? Or, but very rarely, cheap rent is what I'm trying to say. Cheap rent is okay. Free rent is obviously yes. If it's factors considered, cool, you know. But cheap rent, right? That's when it's like, oh, whoa, whoa. You mean I could just move out and go to, and because I can afford it, right? And everything's kind of going good, and I have a roommate that I know only. Maybe he's a family friend, right? Maybe it's a person that's your only friend that you has spent time. Only friend, right? Um, you've spent time like at work, right? Your colleague, and it's like, hey, there's a cheap place over here, so maybe it would be cool for us to like room together, right? And you split obviously the rent, right? And or right, that's one big critical decision that we obviously sometimes make. I know I've made that mistake. I know many of you have made that mistake where it's like, hey, let's go, right? And that's all we think about it. It's cheap rent, it's the homie, right? Let's go. It's my cousin, let's go. Or this cute girl DM me, you know? And she's my boy's ex, right? But she DM me and she's cute, and she's talking about all these like books that I'm reading and everything. Like she's commenting like very stuff that I would like, because obviously if you want to get to know somebody, you got to know their interests, right? So she obviously studied me, and it seemed like she was in that area of where I was at, right? Of expertise. But um so I decided to go out with her, right? And then it builds on from there. She becomes my girlfriend, and cool. These are all decisions, right? So obviously there's more decisions, whether it be that car, that home, obviously the rent I'm talking about. But these are decisions that we may have thought shallowly, right? We didn't think too deep about, okay, right? Let me sit down. This is a big decision, right? This is hopefully a year and beyond, right? Minimal. I'm gonna move in. So, what's the rent look like? What's my income look like, right? What's beyond the expenses that's gonna come with this, right? I have to cook every meal, you know. My voice cracked. I have to cook every meal. Man, that's a nerve wracking freaking realization I had. But good thing my neighbor, my cousin cooked decently, you know. I kind of learned from him, but I mean, I kind of cook too. I worked at Chipotle, and I know how to dice onions. I know how to cut cilantro. I know how to grill chicken. All these basic stuff, right? But do I want to do it? You know, do I have the patience to do it? That's a different story. Unless I'm getting paid, right? It's again that we're drifting off again. So did I think deeply about this decision? Did I think deeply about being with this girl, right? Because being with this girl means more than just it's a good relationship, whether it works out or not. You know, it's affecting a relationship that I've had for a while, you know? But because high school is done, I haven't seen that person in a while, right? I feel like, man, I really don't have nobody, but because this individual reached out to me, and now she's like she seems very interested in me, right? Why not give it a try? You know, give it a go out. I did have the thought, maybe should I let him know? Should I not? Nah, he doesn't need to know nothing about my life, you know. So, um, again, I kind of already expect, okay, if I do this, I know I'm already affecting the relationship, you know, and if I right, if I reach out to him, that means, hey, it's, and again, he had a girlfriend too at the for the longest, right? This girl that he used to be with was before this girl that he's currently with at that time, right? Kind of complicated, but he's a long-term kind of guy, you know, respectable. But this girl, right? This girl, she reached out. Cool. I didn't really think too deep, right? This is what I'm trying to get at is our decisions. We don't really think, man. Okay, what is the consequences of these decisions? Who is she, right? I really don't know too much about her, you know, and it could be good, it could be bad. I, you know, and that's the crazy thing about life is you can go with the girl that you kind of know more about. You can go with the girl that you don't know too much about, and it's the odds you take, you know, and it's your due diligence. It's what you know. It's how much do you value of that, you know, how much do you value of her pretty looks, you know, which can be like hypnotizing, right? We look and we're just like, yeah, keep typing, you know. um but no more, you know, no more. We have suffered that consequence, and again, it comes back to uh the lessons that we have to learn, right? Because I got lost in the beauty, right? I suffered through that decision, right? In the long term, I suffered, not specifically for the relationship, but ultimately for that love commitment. And it was a bad thing, you know. As far as the experiences, it was a good thing, you know. It's a complicated matter, but the main thing is think about, okay, who am I gonna be rooming with? Who is this girl? And give me a second. You gotta really think, because now I'm getting back to where I was wanted to get to. You see those little drinks? We want to move out because our parents, you know, or we want to go with that girl because we're lonely. And it's in these that it's like the devil, God, whatever, your lesson is learned. So this is why I preach on knowing who you are. Know what you need, right? Know who you are, know what you want, know what kind of person you need to have, right? And for everybody is different. No, not everybody wants the perfect girl. Not everybody wants the smart girl. Not everybody. Some people want the sexy hot one. She's truthful, you know, but she has a some kind of a past, and it's just like, okay, I could handle that because the whole package is a plus to me, you know. But the main thing is consider everything, really think, and don't fall into peer pressure for anything. That was the main point of all this, right? These big decisions ultimately come down to peer pressure, and it brings it back to know who you are, know what you want, know what's, you know. And the reason why I made these mistakes early on was because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know. I thought I knew who I was, but I thought, like, man, I think it's gonna be better if I just move out. No, a lot more is gonna be demanded of you. You know, get that really good cushion, and thankfully I had that cushion, which allowed me to mess up and come back and, okay, now I'm really on my A game.